Hello and welcome to Oldie but a Goodie.
Woo!
Coming up on this episode, we've got lots of exciting things for our 100th episode. Yes, it's a special. So I'm going to tell you how our show usually works.
Oh, yep.
How it usually works is we go back to 1984, we review a movie and rate it old or good. That's it. That's the entire structure of our podcast. But this week, we're mixing it up because of our 100th episode. We're just putting in that little bit more effort.
Yes. But we are still reviewing a movie from 1984, which I think is still the main focus of the episode as well. We're still
Absolutely.
going back.
We wouldn't want to abandon that for our loyal listeners.
No, we are still going to be doing a regular full synopsis review later in the episode of Beverly Hills Cop, which will be fun.
Yes, nice movie, that one.
Oh, yeah, and my name's Sandro, and you are Zach. But if you don't know that, that means this is your first episode listening, and you probably should not start with episode 100. Just saying.
And so we've got the new year coming up. We're teasing that for you here. We're going to be like, oh, is it 1987? Is it 1993? Is it 77?
Yep.
And 2005.
Those were the options.
That ancient year of 2005. You'll find out. It's going to happen. We're going to announce it next episode.
Yeah,
so.
not this episode.
Not this episode.
You thought we were going to announce it. You were getting ready, you sneaky little listener. You were like, "Oh, they're going to announce it." Nah, next episode. This episode's too packed. It's too packed.
There's too much stuff because we've got a quiz, an epic quiz, a quiz of huge proportions. We've got an interview coming up. Who's interviewing us?
Oh, that was Ben.
Ben!
Yeah, we gave him a segment.
Friend of the show, Ben Volchok, you gave him a segment where he interviewed that. I don't know if that was the best idea.
We also gave Rob Lloyd a segment, but that was just talking about 2 movies, so that one's fine.
Yeah, that one makes sense, I feel. Anyway, and then we got the Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, and there's also bloopers, bunch of short blooper segments.
Did you say bloopers?
You want to do a virus scan, Sandra? It's virus scan time.
Oh, bloopers. I almost completely forgot about bloopers. How about we save that for next year?
Yeah, we can do like a special at some point.
He's having an ectoplasm dream.
Oh, no.
Nice.
He got all slimed if he knows. Why he would think Melvin. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So Sandra's power just went out.
Oh, as in the power in his house.
Yeah. So as I was talking, his power went out. So that's good.
Shit.
Might want to just pause the recording.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to get it up.
Yeah, I know that's a personal problem for you.
And the never-ending story playing in the background. Of that. Okay, yeah.
Sometimes I really hate this.
Does that one does that one speak to you, Ben? Are you getting a good vibe for this one? Ben? I think that one killed Ben.
Have we lost Ben?
We can't hear you if you're talking. Ooh. Oh, yep, nope, he left.
Ah, damn. All right, let's pause recording.
Yeah, I gave you too much power.
Yeah.
I gave you the whole point of bloopers is whenever Zach yells bloopers, I got to put in a blooper segment, and
yeah, and I did.
It's too much power.
Just then because you mentioned it. I was waiting till you mentioned it.
Yep.
As soon as you mentioned it, boom.
They're in there.
Anyway, we better get to the first part. So what's happening first?
Oh, first is a quiz that you made up.
Yeah.
So we spent a day recording with, I was going to say 8 people, but I'm one of them. So recording with 7 people to do this quiz, and then I edited it all together, and we split it up into 2 parts. You're going to hear the first part right now.
Now?
Oh, not now.
Oh,
just give it a couple more seconds.
Give it a couple more. Yeah, we need to warm it up in the oven. Get it started.
Okay, now.
All right, and welcome back to the quiz of quiz, the mighty quiz, the raving quiz, the quiz that doesn't know an end except when it finishes. We have on our show
Sandro,
Jen Speirs,
Rhys Parton,
Jacob Sacher.
How the quiz works is I'm going to go through a couple of questions. They have multiple choice answers. You know, A, B, C, D, that sort of thing. You just got to pick one of those answers. If it's right, you get a point. If it's not, you don't.
Sounds good.
Are you ready?
Yes, sure. Let's do it. Befuddle me, baby. I'm ready.
You know what? I was born ready. Let's do this.
That is the incorrect answer. You don't get a point.
You didn't give me options.
Question 1. What was the movie we watched on episode 12? Was it A, Serial Mum, B, The Mighty Ducks, C, Monkey Trouble, or D, Jimmy Hollywood?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea, but I'm going to go for B because I like that one.
It is correct. It is B, The Mighty Ducks.
It's correct?
Okay, the only one of those that I remember is Mighty Ducks, so lock it in. Mighty Ducks.
You're putting in Mighty Ducks? You are correct. It is in fact The Mighty Ducks.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
I'm gonna go C, Monkey Trouble.
Monkey Trouble. Ooh, you were close. It was actually B, The Mighty Ducks.
I was like, I love that film. Oh, well.
Episode 12. I feel like Mighty Ducks was episode 10 or something, and I remember that we had to record a bunch of them because Comedy Festival got in the way of our program.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's Serial Mum?
Ooh, very close. Serial Mum was number 15. Unfortunately, the answer was B, The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, okay.
Question number 2. In 1986, the Oldie But a Goodie song was released by who? Was it A, Eddie Mike, B, Mitchell Eddie, C, Mike Eddie, or D, Eddie Mitchell?
Let's lock in D, Eddie Mitchell.
It was in fact D, Eddie Mitchell. Well done.
Yes! Woo!
Jeez. I'm gonna stick with C again.
You gotta stick with C? Ooh, you were close again. It was actually D.
I'll go for D.
You go for D? It is correct.
Really?
D.
These are just guesses.
I am gonna say it's D, Eddie Mitchell.
It is in fact D, Eddie Mitchell. Well done.
Yes.
For a bonus point.
Ooh.
What language is it?
The title of the song is Oldie But a Goodie, right?
Yes, correct.
I'm gonna say it's French.
It is in fact French. Well done. Well done.
Oh, no idea.
No idea?
No idea.
English.
Ah, that's incorrect. It was actually French.
It's okay, you can't win them all.
Yeah.
You cannot win them all.
English? I don't know.
Ah, close. It was actually French.
You see, I was told that I couldn't study for this test. I absolutely could have studied for this.
You could have.
I would have done it too.
Question number 3. The term oldie but a goodie was coined by Los Angeles radio disc jockey Art Labour in what year? Is it A, 1957, B, 1962, C, 1989, or D, 1973?
It's an odd one because it feels like it's a saying that people have been saying for a long time, but also it's talking about old things, so it's hard to pick out of them. I'm going to go for D on that one.
I'm gonna go 60s.
I'm going to go 89. It's the year I was born, so it's a lucky one.
Hit me with that 89, please, Sacher.
Ah, unfortunately it was A, 1957.
What? Jacob!
Yeah.
Early? I thought, God, surely not that early. Well, there you go. I've got to stop choosing C.
Question number 4. At the current time of making this, Wiki defines the meaning of the phrase oldie but a goodie as A, something that is old but good. B, something of media that is aged but is still of high quality. C, an object or concept that is not degraded with time. Or D, something that is old or a tradition but is still valued or golden, a classic.
I'm going to go with A because it's simple and it's exactly what it means.
It is, in fact, A.
Yay!
Something that is old but good. Well done. Yes.
It's old but good. I mean, don't need to get any more complicated than that.
Personally, I would say D. That's my definition of it.
Yeah, you would say D? Is that what you're going with? Are you locking that in?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Zach, I like to think of myself as a bit of a Wikipedia expert, and I think it is B.
Unfortunately, it is A. Something that is old but good.
See, I feel like A and D are very similar, but I'm going to go for A.
It is correct. It is A. Well done.
I mean, I feel like it literally says it in the saying.
Question 5. What is Zach's favorite movie series? A, Star Wars. B, Jurassic Park. C, Lord of the Rings. And D, Harry Potter.
Why isn't the mask on there?
C.
C is correct. Well done.
Yes!
You didn't even hear the caveats.
I'm on a roll now.
The caveats are A, Star Wars is 1 through 6. B, Jurassic Park is all of them, especially Jurassic World. C is Lord of the Rings, not The Hobbit. And D is Harry Potter, not Fantastic Beasts.
Because you're so specific, though, with Star Wars, I'm going to say Star Wars.
Okay. I think you like Star Wars. I think that you like Jurassic Park, and I think that you like Lord of the Rings. Those I definitely think you like a lot. And I think of those, the one you like the most is Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings? That is correct!
I'm tuned in, Zach.
Dude, you're killing it here.
I'm in the zone right now.
Now, I've known you for a long time. You always carry a copy of The Hobbit in your backpack or wherever.
Yes, that's my favorite book of all time.
Okay, you make fun of Harry Potter a lot, even though you like it, so I'm going to cut Harry Potter out. You make fun of Star Wars a lot. You probably don't like the majority of Star Wars movies, so I'm going to cut Star Wars out. I'm going to say Lord of the Rings, actually. I'm going to lock in Lord of the Rings.
I think you knew the answer, but you're correct. It is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I think you were just sort of dragging that out for the podcast, Sandro.
I'm just trying to make content.
Nah, that's good. I'm glad. No, you should have known that, so that's good.
Yeah.
Question number 6. In the episode on Gremlins, in the raving review segment, Ryan wrote this review for the movie, Blu-ray edition. Thanks, Daniel. What did he rate the film? We have A, 2.5 out of 5, B, 5 out of 5, C, 4 out of 5, or D, 0.5 out of 5, or E, 1 out of 5.
Wow. Hang on, so what was the review again? Just go through the review.
The review that Ryan wrote for Gremlins was Blu-ray edition. Thanks, Daniel.
Now, I was never an expert at raving reviews. It was never my strong point.
That's okay. That's okay.
I reckon Ryan's a bit of a dunderpuss. Has no idea how to use this software.
I mean, he's thanks Daniel on Rotten Tomatoes. So
that makes me think 0.5.
See, when I heard that, my immediate response was to say 3 out of 5, but there are different options.
there is not a 3 out of 5 option.
What's the middle one? Because my instinct is to go for mid-range.
2.5 out of 5.
All right, I'll go for 2.5.
That was 5 out of 5, wasn't it?
C, which was, I can't remember what it was now.
It was 4 out of 5.
Thank you, 4 out of 5.
It was in fact C. That's the correct answer. Well done.
I was like, The Gremlins is a great film.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of us are saying thanks, Dan, these days, by the way.
Oh, I'm getting a voice in my ear. No political opinions on the show.
I was just thanking Dan for the Blu-ray. Jesus Christ. Not everything is Dan Andrews, Sandra.
That's going to be a negative point if you continue to make this political.
Have fun editing. He's going to hate me for that.
Question 7. I wrote this quote in my notes. Yes, it's true. This man has no dick. What movie is this from? Is it A, Gremlins, B, Ghostbusters, C, Indiana Jones, or D, Footloose?
Okay, I've seen Indiana Jones, and I've listened to the episode with Sandy where you do Footloose. Okay, I've also seen Ghostbusters. I can't remember it from any of those. Therefore, lock in A, please, Zach.
It's B, Ghostbusters.
B.
It's definitely Ghostbusters, and I believe that Venkman says that.
Well, there is a bonus point here.
Okay.
Because you got it correct. Describe the scene where this quote is said.
That shows that I haven't seen Ghostbusters in a while because I can't quite remember. But I do remember it being very funny to me.
That is when they are in the room with the mayor and you've got the environmental guy making fun of Bill Murray, and then Bill Murray comes around and he says, no, this guy's got no dick.
Yeah, I'll give you the bonus point.
They're at the mayor's office, I believe, trying to get him to agree to do something or other. And then another guy comes in. And he gets called dickless, I think. And then Venkman says, yes, it's true, this man has no dick.
Well done, yes. Question 8. On December 31, 2018, we released our first episode. What movie was also released on the same day? Was it A, Dino King, B, Aquaman, C, Mortal Engines, D, Once Upon a Deadpool, E, Holmes and Watson, F, Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour, G, Leprechaun Returns, H, Bumblebee, I, Puka, J, Lewis and the Aliens, or K, Dragon Ball Super, Broly.
Is this the one that has multiple answers?
You are correct. This one has multiple answers, but you can only choose one of them.
Okay, I don't think it's Holmes and Watson. I think it's the Deadpool one.
I'm leaning towards the Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool being one of them.
I saw Mortal Engines, and I don't remember it being summer when we saw it.
I believe I was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go with Bumblebee.
I know that quite a few of those were released in December.
Yes, all of these movies were released in December.
It's Aquaman. I remember Aquaman came out on New Year's, but that might not be the Australian release date, but I'm going to lock in Aquaman.
Unfortunately, Aquaman came out on the 21st, not the 31st. The answers for that ones were A, Dino King, F, Taylor Swift Reputation Stadium Tour, and J, Lewis and the Aliens.
I have seen none of those.
It's weird. It's crazy, that. Question number 9. Of the top 4 questions I've asked you, which one of these is the wrong answer? Is it A, 1957, B, something that is good but old, C, Eddie Mitchell, or D, The Mighty Ducks?
B.
Yes, it is B. Correct.
B. It's old but good, not good but old.
Mighty Ducks was right. It was mid-50s. Or was it mid... Yeah, no, it was mid-50s. I'm going to go C, but I really don't know. I think it's none of them, to be honest. I think they're all right.
Eddie Mitchell, because I gave that one. But I was right. I was right when I said it. Take that back. Mighty Ducks. It's Mighty Ducks.
It was actually B. Something that is good but old. It was actually something that is old but good.
Fuck you.
And finally, for our final question, question 10. What is the best part of the podcast? Is it A, smelly old Sandro, B, the clearly biased quiz runner Zach, C, the movies doing all the work, or D, you, the guest, for being on the show?
I'm a guest?
That's what's written here.
See, I'm not arrogant enough to go for that last one. And the movies don't do all the work, because sometimes the movies are terrible. And I don't want to pick favourites out of the two of you, so I forfeit.
You know what, Zach? I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
And I reckon you're going to say Sandra is the best one.
The answer is B.
Definitely D.
It is! Thank you very much for being on the
Yay!
show. You've been wonderful. You've been wonderful.
Oh, what a great little quiz segment.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
I love that quiz. I love that segment. I love that I made it
Yes.
and that I'm the best. Those are the two things I love about
Although,
it.
the answer of the final question was that you're not the best.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Well, you know, then you have to wait till the part 2. What are you doing? Oh, you're spoiling everything.
What? Well, at the end of that round, do you want to know how the points tally up?
How do the points tally up?
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you.
All right, go for it.
Jacob's got 3 points.
Ooh, 3 points. All right.
I feel like he was really put off by the Wikipedia question, and after that,
Yeah.
just didn't really find the way
I think
back.
that one really threw him on the wrong track, and he didn't hop on the right one.
Oh, well.
After that, he doubled down on the wrong track, and I feel like that was his downfall.
I'm tied with Rhys. We've both got 5 points, and then winning is Jen on 7 points.
Ooh, she's doing all right. She's doing all right. I'm surprised people got to 5 points. Like, you got quite a few points.
Yeah.
Which I was expecting. You are on the show every week, so I was really hoping you wouldn't fail us, and you didn't.
Well, I did get a couple wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you got at least 50% of them wrong.
Yes.
Seeing as there's 10 questions, and you got 5 points.
But I feel like only 50% of the questions mattered anyway. So
What do you mean? I don't... I
don't
disagree.
know. What I mean is that I'm really excited for us to review Beverly Hills Cop this week.
Oh, yeah, Beverly Hills Cop. I forgot we were doing that because of
yeah.
the epic quiz we just listened to.
Exactly.
Man, Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'll just say it's a pretty good movie. It's a pretty good movie.
I've got so many notes. I've got so much critical analysis ready for that movie.
But first, Sandra.
What's first?
Well, we got this little interview that lined up with a famous guest star, Ben Volchok.
We gave Ben Volchok a 20-minute segment, and you're about to hear what he did with those 20 minutes.
Yep. Was it a mistake?
You decide for yourself.
I don't think so. It was great.
Either way, we may have dug ourselves a grave. Listen. Listen.
Did we dig it?
I think maybe we We made the mistake.
We were coerced at gunpoint to dig it, I think.
Anyway, here is an interview with Ben Volchok.
And you're listening to another edition of the very first interview with the hosts. I'm your host of the interview with the hosts, Ben Volchok, a longtime guest and friend of the show, Oldie but a Goodie, and with me are the two hosts of the show, Oldie but a Goodie. Please give a warm welcome to yourselves, Sandro and Zach.
Yay!
Oh, hello, Zach. Yay.
Woo!
Oh, hello.
Yay!
Oh, it's good to be here.
This is going to be just like a little bit of an informal chat between us all. We're just gonna, shoot some breeze, wag some chins, chew some fat. And we're also going to talk to each other. As hosts and, I suppose, creators, collaborators, founders of the show, what prompted you to do the show, to start making Oldie but a Goodie?
Well, you see, I know the answer to this question, and I can tell you right now, because,
Great.
Well, you see, it's a very long and intricate backstory. You see, Sandro asked me to.
Great. Yeah.
Sandro, why did you...
Yeah. So I came up with the idea halfway through 2018, and I was like, wouldn't it be funny if there was a podcast that did this and this and this? And then I was like, that's a good idea. I'll write it down in my notes. And then near the end of the year, I was like, I'm bored. I want a podcast. So I asked Zach to do it.
And here we are today.
Great. Fantastic.
Fantastic. Jolly good.
Who came up with the title?
I think I did.
I think you did. Yeah, that was you.
I think we brainstormed it together. We were throwing ideas to each other. Till one of them, we had a wall and we were throwing sticky things at it, and one of them stuck.
One of them stuck. From memory, It was between Oldie but a Goodie or Oldie or a Goodie, and I'm very glad that Zach was like, no, we're not doing Oldie or a Goodie. That's a terrible title.
That was dumb.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to agree. I think you made, out of those two choices, I think you made definitely the right choice, which does actually lead me into my next question, which is, I think, a question I've raised on many occasions, and it's quite a controversial topic. So, no excuses for me not bringing it up. The notion of, brought up in your title of Oldie but a Goodie, or even more blatantly and explicitly an Oldie or a Goodie, is the sort of false dichotomy between the notions of oldies and the notions of goodies. And I'm just wondering if you could provide a little bit of clarification or just some of your opinions on this false dichotomy which you have so shamelessly constructed.
Yeah, I can answer this one, Sandro, if you wanted to answer this one.
No, go for it.
Okay. Well, you see, it's quite intricate. You see, some things are old, but they're good, because they're enjoyable. But some things are old, and they're just old. Some movies are old, some are good and old, and some are old and old. Mm-hmm. And that's really what we're all about.
Yeah, my thinking as well is, I completely agree with everything that my co-host has said. On top of that, I don't think that rating matters. It's the review that matters, and us calling them oldie and goodies is really just a gimmick, if you will, much like 3D in the cinemas. Who cares about 3D? It's just there to get you in there. It's the same with the rating system. It's just there to get the ears on the episode.
Everybody goes, it's 3D, and once it gets in there, they're like, I hate this. Why did they make this 3D? But we got you in there. We got you in the cinema. Got him.
So you're basically admitting that your entire podcast is a marketing ploy, a cheap marketing ploy.
Oh, absolutely.
To sow discord in the cinema world.
Yeah, I really felt that you could use more Discord, so that's what we're here for. That's what we stand by.
We don't even use Discord to record unless we do sometimes.
Great. So just pressing a little bit further into that false dichotomy that you've fabricated, this idea that older films somehow don't have an inherent quality and that they must be imbued with a certain extra goodness. Why not simply, oldie, and sometimes it's also goodie? This sort of like, oh, it's old, but it's good. I just can't wrap my head around this, Why not oldie, goodie or baddie?
I think Sandro can explain this one perfectly. He's onto this one.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly problematic that you are saying that movies that are old aren't good, and that is really one of the big points of the podcast that we wanted to set out and do was, yes, there are so many oldies that came out, but also a lot of those oldies are in fact goodies. There are so many great movies that we have found, stuff like Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito, a movie that nobody remembers, but we found it, and in many ways we were the Renaissance for that movie, and without us that movie just wouldn't really be known at the moment anymore. So yeah, I find your question quite offensive actually, as a fan of movies that are sometimes old and oldies, but also sometimes they're goodies. Zach, do you have anything to add?
Old things are bad. New things good.
Well, I suppose that does answer my question. I suppose you do have a very narrow-minded idea of what it means.
And proud of it.
Okay, right. I see whom I'm dealing with here. Now, moving on to a slightly different but still connected issue. This idea of an oldie. What passes your cutoff date to be an oldie? Because I noticed that your first season covered films from the year 1994, which I'm older than, and I don't consider myself tremendously old. What prompted you to choose 1994, even though it was 25 years, and not say, 25 years prior to that in 1979? No, 1969. Why not 1969?
I'll just very quickly, before I'm sure my co-host has got something to say here, I forget why we picked 1994.
Because it was 25 years ago. That was that was your thing.
It was 25 years between recording, and it was, marking the 25th. But why 25? Why not, 30, 40, 45, 50, 100 years? You've got over a century of cinema to choose from, and you choose something remarkably close to our present day. Why would you do that?
It's quite simple. Anything that's 25 or above is old. That's just a fact. 25 and up, you're just old. You're past your prime. It's all downhill from there. You're a boomer stage right there. 25 and up,
Wow, yeah.
You've hit levels of boomer. And if you're a boomer, you're old. And therefore, if a movie has just hit the level of boomer, which we were celebrating, we were going throughout the year, as each movie came out, it was then becoming a boomer and therefore old. It was a boomer movie. And so we were reviewing boomer movies because they're old. And that's why we did that. Sandra?
Oh, I sure do love Leon the Professional, my favourite boomer movie.
Yes, exactly. Only boomers can appreciate those movies.
I would also say one of the reasons why we went for 25 years, the 25-year anniversary. One of the main reasons we went for that was because we want to do a movie every week, a new release every week, and if you go further down, let's say like 75 might be the cutoff, there's just not enough movies coming out each week for us to really cover.
Yeah. So it was pretty much we were lazy and wanted it to be easy.
Okay. Well, we'll take that on board and we'll consider it.
Who's we?
Yeah, that was my...
The audience. I consider myself part of the audience that is listening to your responses.
You represent the audience in this case.
I wouldn't say I represent the audience. I'm merely an intermediary figure.
Okay, so if he says anything wrong, audience, send your angry tweets at
at Zong Mouse on Twitter.
Yep, there you go.
Bring them on. Now, speaking of bringing things on, let's bring on our next question, which is more of a lighthearted, sort of fun kind of question, if I do say so myself. What was your highlight of the last year of recording? And then, what was your highlight of the next year of recording? And by next year, I don't mean the following year, but this current, most recent year of recording.
So I assume you're asking our highlights from the year 2019 and then the highlights from the year 2020.
That's right. Yes.
Well, for me, my highlight of 2019 was starting the show, and then in 2020, my highlight was continuing the show. How about you, Zach?
That's a cop-out. Give us a proper answer.
I'll give my answer. My answer was anytime I wasn't recording. No, my highlights is when I think we got our first guest on. That was it really changed the dichotomy. And
was that from memory? That was Rob Lloyd on the Flintstones episode.
Yeah. I really liked that one, mostly because I really loved the Flintstones movie, and you two hated it, and you two bullied me into rating that an oldie, and I'm still to this day mad about that. But it's a memory I will always remember, and. I think this year it was going online because I've been doing it with everything now.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I would agree with that. Getting the guests on in the first year was really fun. Establishing that base of friends of the show. People like Rob and yourself, Ben, as well.
Watch them go from a cop out to stealing my answer.
If I were to pick particular episodes that I really liked from last year, though, my favorite, I think, is still The Next Karate Kid, where we were very mean on this poor little kid's film from 25 years ago.
It deserved it.
Just because it was an awful movie. That's definitely a highlight. In terms of highlights from this year, episode 69. I feel like we've come very far from when we recorded that episode where we genuinely hated ourselves for picking the movie. We've gotten so far away from that I can now look back on that episode and go, that was very funny.
Agreed.
Yeah, great. So essentially, your favorite memories are bullying and being bullied.
Correct.
That's a nice little thread to tie things together.
I feel like we're going to be under arrest after this.
My question is relating to a previous answer you recently made, in which you used the word dichotomy, which I believe you only used because I used that word earlier, and you meant to say dynamic. What are your comments regarding that?
I just listen to what other people say and regurgitate it and make it sound like I have my own opinion.
Right, okay. And what about something a little bit something with a little less self-hatred?
I get words mixed up.
All right, and Sandra, what about something that you've learned?
Oh.
Something that you've learned from this whole experience.
That's a very good question.
Shouldn't trust Ben with an interview.
Well, that's on us though, isn't it? Yes. There's something that I've learned, probably has to come with the production side of things, the editing, particularly this past year where we have been recording online. Editing a quiz section with 8 people, meaning 16 audio tracks that I've got to stitch together, is a bad idea, and I shouldn't have agreed to do it.
Yeah, very serious.
Right. Okay, great. Fantastic. Some great answers. Hi, if you're joining us right now, we're in the middle of an interview of the hosts of a particular podcast contentiously called Oldie But a Goodie. And I'm Ben Volchok. I'm just conducting this interview/interrogation. Moving on to the section of the interview where let's broaden this out. If you could pick any guest in the whole wide world to come onto your show, whom would it be and why? Keeping in mind that I've already been on the show.
That's a very cheeky question. Zach?
Thank you.
Zach?
Okay. I was going to say, Do they have to be alive?
Yes, otherwise they can't talk.
Well, I mean, that might be seen as a plus, depending on the guest. I would like to get Trump on the show.
Oof.
Yeah, now you may be asking, wait, why do you want Trump? He's an evil bigot. And you'd be right. But everybody talks about him constantly. Literally constantly. I can't look anywhere on any social media platform without someone talking about Trump. And so if he was on this show, we would be everywhere. It would be instant fame immediately. We would quadruple our listener base almost instantly. And I feel like he would have some opinions on movies that we would disagree with, and that would be very fun to be able to yell at Trump for something other than politics.
What was that answer?
I object to your answer deeply and completely.
I just want to say the views and comments of the co-host do not represent the show or anyone else.
I reject your answer. I as the interviewer, as the person conducting this interview, I reserve the right to completely reject that answer.
Anyway, my answer is Jeff Bezos.
All right.
Okay. Now, on a more serious note, who would you get and why?
For me, the number one, famous person, particularly to do with movies that I've always wanted to talk to, has been Mark Hamill, who of course, plays Joker in the Batman animated series, and also a little known franchise called Star Wars. I think it would be really fun to get him on to talk about an erotic rom-com. I think that would be a very hilarious interview where we're just hanging out with Mark Hamill talking about bad movies. I think that would be a lot of fun. So yeah, it's always Mark Hamill for me, number one, whenever people ask this question.
Mine would be split between Hugh Jackman and Terry Crews.
Ooh.
Those would be the two people, one of those two, because they seem like wholesome, great people, and I just would like to talk with them and see what their thoughts on movies are. I would like to watch the old X-Men with Hugh Jackman. I feel like that would be a wild ride, and he'd be down to drink a beer and laugh at the absurdity of some of the movies. Like when he lights a fire and explodes a helicopter. I feel like that's a great moment in cinema that he would have a good laugh about. And I think Terry's just a cool guy.
Now that's a nice answer.
But we wouldn't get as much views as Donald Trump, so that's where I'm going.
The sweet, sweet sound of selling out.
Yeah, dab.
The next, we're sort of drawing to a close very soon, but and just a few thoughts on, where next? What's next for Oldie and Goodie?
Sandra, do you have any ideas?
Well, we are, currently in the works of getting ready to do another year. The poll has closed, actually, by the time this episode goes out. The Survey Monkey is done, so we know what year we're doing. So really just planning that year, and also other stuff to kind of surround it. I mean, live streaming's pretty popular at the moment, so we might start doing, some live podcasts or stuff like that. I don't know particularly what we would do in that realm, but exploring that, and also like live shows. I know, some people would want to come see our faces, yell at them.
Mostly on the same lines. Obviously, we're going to be doing the next year, but we've also, speaking of mail, we've been getting a lot of messages to replace me with Ben Volchok. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing that next year, but it's something we're looking into. Obviously, if the fans are, very ravenous
yes.
Asking for something, we obviously need to look into it. So that might be something we're looking to do in the future.
Look, anytime, just let me know. And also, just to clarify, I was not responsible for sending those messages. I did send a message suggesting that I could come on as a guest, but to replace an original host, that would be just a travesty that I would be welcome to.
Well, I mean, in a couple couple more years, I'll hit the ripe old age of 25, and I think I'll retire after that, as seeing as I'll be an old person.
Yes. And can I just quickly use this space to also acknowledge a couple rumors that have been going around, Ben? Do you mind if I use this time to acknowledge it? A lot of people have also been saying that that I am going to quit the show and get replaced by Rob Lloyd, and my answer to that rumor is that is not true. But if Rob was willing to come on and replace me, I would be willing to stop watching these movies, as I'm sure Zach would as well, to be replaced by Ben.
I've been trying to spread those rumors for a while now, so I think they'll really catch on eventually.
Wonderful times. Now, it is time, unfortunately, to sort of start to wrap things up. So I thought we'd have a little bit of a quick fire round, just to close things off. How do you feel about that?
I'm always down for some quick fast. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, great. Now, question number 1. Best film?
Lord of the Rings, all of them.
No, stop, rewind. I should clarify. Question number 1, best film you've covered?
Best film we've covered. Terminator.
Pulp Fiction.
Okay, all right. Worst film you've covered?
Blame it on Rio.
3 Ninjas. 2.
Okay, all right. Next question. Most forgettable film you've covered? Correct answer. Now, next question. What is the one thing that you would change about the show?
The host.
Agreed.
All right. And now, final quick-fire question. Are you ready for the final quick-fire question?
Yes.
You bet, yes.
All right. The final quick-fire question is, who is good?
Everybody that listens to this show, thank you for listening.
Every single person who just hit subscribed and left us a review on
that bell
iTunes
button.
and left a comment on YouTube.
Because the name's Ben Volchok.
All right. Now, I'd love to just end this interview by, I'd love to end this interview. I'd love to end this interview with just a parting word, if you may. Just one word from each of you, just to close things off. Sandro?
Tired.
Zach?
Sandwich.
All right. Thanks very much to Sandro and Zach, the hosts, maybe not for long, of Oldie But a Goodie, which is a title that I do not agree with. The podcast that reviews and discusses different films all in one single year. And if you like their show, you've already listened to it. If you don't like their show, then you've already listened to it. Please continue to do that either way. My name is Ben Volchok. You'll possibly be hearing my voice a little bit more again. Thank you again to Sandro and Zach, and see you on the other side.
Yay!
Whoa. Wow, those hosts sucked.
Yeah. And I think that went about as expected.
Good stuff. I like when you said that you'd want Trump on the show.
Hey, look, it would make sense. We would instantly be famous everywhere.
I like that that you getting replaced by Ben Volchok as the regular host in the show has become a thing. Just based off a listener suggested it in the survey. Like, we don't know who it is. If it's you, send us an email or something. Yeah. Make yourself known.
I just had to agree with them. I feel like if I was going to retire, I don't plan to at the moment, but if I was going to retire and head off into the wilderness like a chipmunk in the woods, just gnawing on leaves, gnawing on trees, and building myself a little cubby.
I really
hole
wasn't
out
on
there
board for that analogy, but now I am. Now that you're going through the gnawing thing, I'm like, no, that does make sense. That makes sense.
Chomping down and living life as I really, really want to, then I feel like Ben would definitely be a great host to replace me with. And then we could replace Sandro with who do you think would make a great second?
Someone who knows movies.
Yes, that would be good.
Someone who does comedy.
Yes.
And someone who's on the next segment of the episode.
Someone who knows a lot about Doctor Who.
that as well.
Yeah.
Probably more than me.
Yeah, someone who would know more.
Yeah.
And more about certain other obscure older movies. An actual expert,
Yes.
could you say, on old movies, rather than two idiots just talking about them.
It feels like we're describing Rob Lloyd.
Mind blown. Of course, Rob Lloyd. We should get him on the show. We should get him right now.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because in the past, we recorded a segment with Rob Lloyd, but now we're going to pretend that it's happening live, just seamlessly
What?
from what we're doing now.
Oh, it's going to be great, because my mic audio is going to change.
Oh yeah, your mic audio is suddenly going to change going into this segment.
So no one will know that it's pre-recorded.
Oh, thanks, us in the future. Yes, hello and welcome to the bonus battle segment. This is where we take two movies that are kind of similar and we battle it out by battling and points and battles. Zach?
What an intro. Yes, I'm here. But who will be battling me? Is it you, Sandro?
Yes.
But we need some sort of arbiter. We need someone to make sure this is a fair and equal battle. Someone
Yes.
who knows everything about every movie ever and can tell when someone is being correct or incorrect.
Yes, and someone who featured on both of our episodes where we talk about the originals of the movies we're talking about in this bonus battle. It's Rob Lloyd!
Greetings, gentlemen. Always a pleasure, and I'm very honoured to be here talking about two films from my childhood. All that time ago, just hearing Sandra and I were talking off air, we were talking about John Glover, who appears in Gremlins 2, and he goes, of course I grew up with John Glover in Smallville. I'm going, that's right, I was in my early 20s when Smallville was on. That's right, I'm the old man, token old man in all of Sandra's podcasts.
It's true, but also,
Yes.
With age comes wisdom, you know? I mean,
And yes, with great age comes great responsibility.
exactly. Oh, look, not to plug Nerd Out, but that's what I love so much about Nerd Out is that we're all kind of from different generations.
We are. We have that perfect distribution of entering the 20s, exiting the 20s, and entering oblivion. So try and figure out who's who. So yeah, Gremlins 2, Ghostbusters 2. This is going to be too much fun.
Yes, very good. We are going to
what
battle
you
them
did there.
out. If you haven't heard a bonus battle before, fair enough. We haven't done one in a year. But we've got a bunch of topics. We're going to rate the movies out of 10, add up all the points at the end of it, and figure out which movie is superior, which movie wins. But before we even get into that, though, first impressions. Let's start off with Ghostbusters 2. Rob, first impressions on Ghostbusters 2. What do you think? What are your general thoughts on this movie?
Right. Okay. So first impressions. I go back to the first impressions when I first came out as a kid. One, I was incredibly excited because Ghostbusters was coming out in the best year of cinema of all time. 1989. Then I saw the film and I couldn't help but be disappointed because even though it was 5 years later, the shadow of Ghostbusters, it was at that point the highest grossing comedy of all time, and it was a cultural phenomenon. Cast such a long shadow, and so it had to be something spectacular to match or even just live up to it. And because there was so much hype, and this wasn't of the time of internet or fan sites or all that type of stuff. So it was all just what we generated in our minds, and that hype became this collective sigh of, oh, okay. But it is something now that I appreciate more. And every time I go back and rewatch it, I don't hate it. I don't loathe it. I don't think it's an incredible film, but there's a lot in there that is really, really good, really, really funny. It's a shame, if it was the second film of, say, 3, maybe, it wouldn't be as poorly regarded. If it was, the one of a trilogy or maybe even 4 Ghostbusters films with the same cast, you'd kind of be able to go, oh, this one was a low peak, that one was a high point, all that type of stuff. But because it's only one or the other to compare to, that it's hard to do that. So first impressions, I was disappointed, but now I actually really appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely agree that the biggest problem for this film is Ghostbusters 1 exists. Because it's so good that it's hard for a sequel to come out and not live up to the hype. It's not a bad film, I will say. I'm going to throw it out there and say it's not a bad film. It's not as great as the first film, and it suffers from that heavily. But I think there's still some good redeeming qualities, such as the Titanic.
Yeah.
It's better late than never, you know?
I went into the rewatch of this one because I don't think I've seen it since your Ghostbusters show with Innes, Rob. Like that was probably the last time I rewatched it, and even then, that was the second time that I had ever seen Ghostbusters 2. I just don't go back to this one.
Wow.
So I went into it being like, I'm probably going to rate it an oldie because I don't remember liking it too much, but I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
The story and the villain and the ghosts that they are investigating, I don't think are particularly great, but the characters themselves, I think, are fantastic. Unlike most sequels, they don't do anything really that seems out of character, aside from maybe Annie Potts and Rick Moranis. That's probably the only thing that's slightly out of character. But everything else, I think, like, it makes sense that the characters would do this. And I do agree, if this was in a trilogy, they probably could have easily made an amazing third film, and this would just be the sequel that's not quite as good. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. All right, but the other film we're talking about this week is Gremlins 2, The New Batch. I think I already kind of said what my first impressions were on the main Gremlins episode, and that I used to think this was better than the first one. Now I think the first one's better, but only by a little bit, because I love this movie. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. But everything lands. I don't think anything doesn't work in this film. What were your first impressions, Rob?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was really excited by Gremlins 2 coming out. I actually liked the change of pace in The New Batch because it still had that horror element, but it was balanced so much more evenly with this out-and-out farcical slapstick, dare I say, Looney Tunes-esque comedy. I didn't realize how meta or how in-jokey it was until I got older, and I could appreciate just how many layers Joe Dante put into the film. But as a kid, watching this slapstick, fun, scary, weird, and I got some of the self-references. Like, as a kid, I really liked how the film broke halfway through, and they had to get, in the movies, they had to get Hulk Hogan to tell them to start playing the movie again. Because I grew up watching the Muppet movie, and there's a whole moment where the film cuts out because of Swedish Chef, and so they have to start again. So as a kid, I'm going, I know this, I got this, okay. I didn't know it was called meta, but I got it. And the nude volleyballing, like the Gremlins take over the film and put nude volleyball from like black and white era 1950s. So yeah.
Well, my thoughts, personally, is that it is better than the first one. That's my personal opinion. So it's funny that you've rewatched it and you've changed your mind, but watching it, I've gone, yeah, you're right. This is better than the first one.
I think I rewatched it and appreciated the first one more.
We have to do a bonus battle for these two movies, Gremlins 1 versus Gremlins 2. That'd be good. But I really liked this movie. I love it's like a silly comedy for half, and then the Gremlins hit, and then suddenly, oh, by the way, horror! Freaking giant spider gremlin! Freaking bat gremlin. Oh, it's great. It's great. I loved everything about this movie. I was very, very pleased.
Okay, well, the way the bonus battles work is we've got a bunch of topics, and we're going to go through them. We're going to discuss how the movie works in these topics, and then rate it. Now, the way it's going to work is, Rob, you're going to be sitting on the fence. So you're going to be rating for both movies, I think, is how it's going to work.
Yes. Now, we did. Yeah, it's okay if I rip away the sort of like the curtain of the illusion of this. Take away a bit of the fantasy element of the world that we create in this podcast. So we did discuss this beforehand, and I have jumped on the fence just because I'm trying to, claiming that entitlement of being the guest. So so we are. I think we all know in our hearts which one we prefer, but to play the facade that has been created in this podcast, we do not want to destroy that illusion. So let's build that up again and pull the curtain across. Just wanted to state that. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So you are going to be on the fence. You're going to be arguing for both movies and voting for both movies. Zach because originally you were going to do Ghostbusters 2, but because you then said that Gremlins 2 is now your favorite, I think you should argue for Gremlins 2, and I should argue for Ghostbusters 2 because I didn't hate it.
Nice.
Wait, you're flipping the script? I thought I was going to be Ghostbuster Boy, but I'm Gremlin Boy now?
Yeah, he's just flipped it there for you. That's friendship.
All right.
So, yeah, he's going to be rating things for things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's start off with the big question, because these are both sequels, and one thing we talk about a lot on this show is sequelitis, which is, of course, when a movie tries to recapture the magic of the first one, but just does the same thing again, or it just doesn't quite work, or it's a horror film, it's a brand new cast, but it's the exact same story. You know, that's sort of the sequelness of these movies is the first topic, and we will be rating it out of 10.
So 0 is it is too much sequelitis, but 10 is it is not affected by being a sequel at all.
Exactly, yes.
We figured that out as we went along. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's not like I wrote these 5 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah, look, just throw ideas in there. Let it flip the script.
Zach, Gremlins 2, sequelitis.
Gremlins 2. Personally, I want to rate it like, I don't know, a 7.5 or something. I feel like it definitely, like, there's a lot of things you wouldn't get if you hadn't seen the first one. And so I feel like you definitely need this to be a sequel, but it stretches so far out from what the first one does. It does all these crazy other things that I feel like it's definitely gone on its own to do something different. It's not like the first one, where they're in this little small town, and the moral of the story is, you shouldn't take from Asian people. They're mystical objects when they say no. Definitely it goes wild with the genetic manipulation, the jokes, the craziness of it all. It definitely goes out on its own. So I feel like a 7.5 from me.
Yeah, it does enough differently for you. That's great. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'd go even further. I mean, in its essence, it is a sequel, but what I like about it and why I'm going to rate it so high is all the legitimate horror and suspense and drama it created in the first film to be in this banner of like a horror film with a bit of but for the family, which was really odd. God, I miss the 80s. But mind you, this is the year that Age of Resistance, Dark Crystal won Best Children's Show. So, everything old is new again at the Emmys. So it flipped that around. So one of the key moments in Gremlins is this horrifyingly sad story about Phoebe Cates' character and why she doesn't believe in Christmas. And the audacity to flip that around and have a moment that makes fun of it by Phoebe Cates saying let me tell you about Lincoln's Day. And they just go, all right, let's move on. I'm going, that is incredibly audacious to do that, and taking all those elements that we know and flipping it around. And so having not just all the Gremlins the same, I think Dante said, I want all the Gremlins. So Rick Baker has taken the genius that is Rick Baker, just went, okay, let's take this and create all these. So there are so many personalities and figures, and all the Gremlins are different. That the meta references run so deep, and it's one of the few films that are so self-conscious of itself, but it actually works. There's never any moments where I just roll my eyes and groan. It's always a case of it's done in such good fun, such good jest. And the mere fact that the audacity to have someone who panned the original film. Leonard Maltin panned the original film. He hated it. So what do? They get him in the film to review the original film and then have him killed by gremlins. And he actually showed up to do it. It's great. So I give it like 9 out of 10 because it doesn't suffer any sequelitis at all. And in fact, it flips it around and goes, this is how much of a sequel we are. Yep. And this is how, it's still within the world, but flipped it completely. I give it 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I do agree. For Ghostbusters, though, I feel like it's pretty down the middle. I mean, on one hand, it's great to see the characters again, and the character arcs do stand on their own really well. I do genuinely hate the story arc of, though they broke up in between movies. Like, that happens so often in sequels. I'm thinking Speed 2. Ugh. I don't know why that was the first one that popped into my mind, but Speed 2. Like,
What is wrong with you?
it happens in pretty much every major sequel, particularly around this time, though, so that you can have that romantic story again, I guess, which they do in Ghostbusters too.
I hate that.
I'm not a fan of that, but aside from that, I think the character arcs are really great throughout the movie, and the characters, I feel like, have grown in Ghostbusters 2 as well, particularly someone like Ernie Hudson, and like in terms of his performance and in terms of how involved he is. It's great to see more of him. So I think for sequelitis, it really is, the plot suffers from it because, I mean, who really cares about the villain? Like, he looks cool and the idea is okay, but I don't care. Like, compared to Zool, it's nothing. So
Yeah, it's nothing compared to that. There's a sinisterness and there's a creepiness, and also because they connect Zool and Gozer and all that type of stuff, you know, so inadvertently. I didn't pick it up as a kid, but I sure as hell see it now. The whole sex thing as well. It's all very, it's sex driven, it's lustful, it's that, you know, it's makes you feel uneasy when, you know, when they're talking about Evo Chandler and all that type of stuff. But in this, you're just there going,
It's an angry painting.
the story, it's very similar to, like, I like it, but, you know, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, those sort of Marvel movies where you're there for the characters and then the villain or the obstacles they've got to overcome are incredibly secondary. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling maybe a 5 right down the middle because I like pretty much all the character stuff, but in terms of the plot, in terms of what the movie's actually about, So I think I'm going to go 5 for sequelitis. How about you, Rob?
yeah, I'll be a little bit harsher. I'll go 4. The character stuff is incredible, but because the Vigo is just so bland and so average, and Peter McNichol is so funny in it, but it kind of takes away from the menace of it.
Yeah.
In this, Peter McNichol is just out and out hilarious. You don't feel that unease with him. Not the one time was like when he has the 2 torches come out of his eyes in that scene. I went, that's a good image.
Yeah.
But for the rest of it, you know, Janosch is just hilarious, full stop. So, yeah, that disappointed me a bit. I still love the character stuff and it's still enjoyable, but yeah, I'll be a bit harsher and give it 4.
All right, there we go. We'll move on to the second topic, which is comedy. These are of course, comedic movies. Zach, I mean, comedy in Gremlins too.
I don't want to make it a 10, but I'm feeling a 9.5.
Do it. Don't hold back.
You've got Gizmo dressing up as Rambo and the whole, like, boxing training.
Do the 10. Fuck go. They go from a Cary Grant car racing movie in the first one to just go, fuck it, let's make him fucking Rambo. And it's insane.
It's so good.
Just because they just pushed him too far, and just him looking at the flaming corpse of the spider vampire dying, he's just watching it. I'm there going, that is incredible.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's great. Where he hears the like distant voice of the television. Sometimes you got to embrace the war. It's amazing.
Oh dear.
Just for Gizmo turning into Rambo, and then not wanting to get rid of his headband.
Love that.
It's great. And all the other gremlins. I love the gremlin that can talk. It's just its lines are incredible. And its accent. Oh, the whole dance number and thing where they have the hexagons, and then the I'm going to refer to as Lady Smurf pop out of the eye, and it's all dramatic. The cinema burning, and then just Hulk Hogan is just in this film for some reason.
Yep.
I completely forgot he existed. And especially the one we were talking about before, when she goes into a monologue of how she's traumatized about this day, and he's like, "We really don't have time for this. We gotta go."
Yeah.
And she's like, "But the trauma, no." And it's just great.
Rewatching it again, just little bits I didn't remember, like a great part where the gremlins take over the elevator and Phoebe Cates goes, sound alarm, and the gremlins just go,
All of the voiceovers for the building throughout the movie are fantastic. There's that one where it's like the building is on fire. Fire like the ancient. It's great.
And the people are just like, what?
Yeah. So a 10 from Zach. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go 10 as well. There's great comedy stuff in there. Just the like, the scene, like how they go full Looney Tunes with like the secretary of Clamp is eating a sandwich and not looking, and so then the gremlin puts the hand comes up, takes off the bun, puts in the mousetrap, puts it on, and then you hear the sound of the hand going down, go yoink, and you go great, and then all you hear is the snap. And then, it's just, and then having it killed in a hideous, being torn through the shredder. But it looks at the camera before it dies, and it's like,
the Phantom of the Opera stuff gets me every time. That's great. I'm melting as well. It's got the witch hat on.
I'm melting. Yeah, it's so many references and jokes, and it's just having a good time throughout.
And that's one thing that I think is the big difference between Gremlins 2 and Ghostbusters 2 is in Gremlins 2 there are jokes, they are set up, then there's the punchline, they are delivered, it works. With Ghostbusters 2, I guess kind of similar to 1, except maybe more so the comedy comes from characters and just the characters saying weird things in scenarios. Like, there aren't really that many setup and punchline moments. I think one of the big ones is probably at the very start where you've got Venkman being like, oh, Egon, I bet those science chicks really like that large brain of yours. And he says, oh, they're more interested in my epidemis.
Great line. It's so bad. It's so bad where Egon goes, I'll need to do a gynecological study of Dana. And Venkman goes, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
What was it? I like at the very start where they set everything up, where it's like they've called the Ghostbusters over, and it's like the lady's explaining, well, they're about this big, and this, and then it goes in, and it's just a party. It's a child's party.
Yes.
It was such a grown joke. You're like, no one would actually describe children as about this big,
Yeah.
And shitty, and the horrible young kid who bags out Ray and Winston was actually Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman, who is now fully grown, a established, wonderful director, and the director of Ghostbusters Afterlife.
He is. Yes. Okay. And that film is canon to this universe, which means he better show up.
Yeah.
That's
going to be his Alfred Hitchcock cameo.
Yeah.
A lot of the Egon moments are the funniest parts in this. Like, there's the thing as well where they're talking about how he never had toys growing up because his parents didn't believe in toys, and someone's like, does that mean that you never even had a slinky? Well, I had a slinky, but I straightened it. It's a great line.
Beautiful line. And talks about, let's take the puppy away. And just a beautiful little character moment, like when he gets a kiss on the cheek from Dana, and you actually see him just go. He just enjoys it. It takes one little second, and then it's a beautiful little moment. They really give Egon a lot more to do, which is in a very subtle way, which I really like. So.
Yeah. And I think as well, there aren't any jokes in Ghostbusters 2 that really fall flat for me either. Like, what falls flat is the story, but the jokes are so consistently good that it is still enjoyable to watch. It's still a really good movie. Compared to Gremlins, again, though, I can't think of any jokes in Gremlins that didn't work either, that fell flat.
Well, it's two very different things. Whereas, with Ghostbusters 2, it's very much, like you said, that character, almost riffing improv, trying to make it feel like it's coming off the cuff type of thing. Whereas Gremlins 2, The New Batch, is just wall-to-wall gags. It just cuts to little moments and incidents. It's just filtered through all of just these little one-liner scenes or gags or moments, and it's just powered all the way through. So it's like, it doesn't care. It's like a classic Simpsons or even midterm Family Guy, where it just does so many cutaways and just to do a gag and then get the fuck out. It doesn't help with the story at all. It's just, let's see what the Phantom of the Opera Gremlin's doing. Let's see what Smurfette Gremlin's doing. Let's find out. And it's just cutting around like that, which adds to that anarchic tone to it, but it just suits it so well.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to rate it... I think I might go 9, actually. I do, like, the comedy in Ghostbusters 2 is my favourite part of it, so I am going to go 9 for Ghostbusters 2. I still think it is funny. Not a 10. It's not Ghostbusters 1, but it's still excellent. How about you, Rob?
Yeah, I'll go 8. I'll go 8 for the comedy type of stuff. So, yeah, it's definitely more funny than it is scary, which is good, but getting horror and comedy is a hard balance, and this one just kind of doesn't hit the comedy, doesn't hit the horror, so the comedy loses a bit of its punch.
Yep. Speaking of horror, the horror levels of Gremlin 2, Zach, what do you think?
Again, this is my favorite part about the Gremlin franchise, is that it's all like cute little fluffy monsters until you feed them after midnight, and then things really just... it turns it up to 11, It goes from 1 to 11 real quick. It could be a child's film up to that point, and then it goes to the not-so-child's film of terrifying a young Rob shaking in his boots at these terrifying monsters. And that's definitely my favorite part about these movies, is how, like, actually terrifying they can be sometimes. Like, an example, the spider gremlin is terrifying. Yeah, it just looks horrible, and as a mild arachnophobic, it's definitely spooky. And the melting of their skin when they die, and they just have these horrible skeletons underneath.
Yeah.
I was like, that's awful.
The bit that gets me is when they are, the evil gremlins get hit by water. Like, my trypophobia just kind of goes off as you see them popping on the back.
Oh, God, yeah. And they have these, bumps and pops.
Yeah.
And then you see them actually coming out of their backs. Oh.
I don't think it's as horrifying as the first one. I think the first one was a bit more horrifying in that aspect. So I'm going to give this, I think I'll give it a 7.
I'll give the horror about 6.
For Ghostbusters, the only scary scene is the bathtub scene, so I'm giving it a 2.
Ooh, wow. No, but what about Mr. Painting's face, though? Whenever I saw that, I was like, whoa. Ooh.
I liked when he's got the flashlight eyes, as you said before. That was a good effect. That was kind of spooky.
That's a good effect, yeah.
So I think it's really just that and bathtub scene are the only things that are somewhat spooks. So I'm going to go 2.
Yeah, I'm not scared by it, but it's a really nice shot, and the music is beautiful. When you see the shape of, Nanny Janosch coming, the spectre ghost of Janosch coming, and he's got the pram and floating in. It's got this type of winged monkeys type of Wizard of Oz type of thing as it flies in, and that's kind of creepy. But then it comes up close and it's just it's Peter McNichol in a dress and a wig. So there's little moments, and I do appreciate that shot is not really scary, but it's so effective. Of it's all in red and just these lights coming out of his eyes. So I give it about 1. It doesn't scare me at all, but
yeah, it's not really scary.
We will speed through these next ones, but the performances of Ghostbusters, I think, again, much like the comedy, some of the best parts of it.
Bill Murray.
Yep. Rick Moranis, though, kind of missed opportunity. He's not as good, so I'm not going to go for the highest number, but I might go for an 8 for the performances on Ghostbusters, because I think it's excellent, but they misuse Rick Moranis a little bit, so that's an 8 from me.
Yeah, and that's unforgivable. You never misuse Rick Moranis. You should, he is a treasure, Canadian treasure, and he should be looked after. But everyone else is in top form, and they get extra marks because they boosted up Winston. So yeah, I'll give it 8 as well. I'll give it comedy performances 8. Performances 8 for Ghostbusters 2.
Performances in Gremlins, Zach.
I loved them. I'm a big fan of the performances. I'm going to give this an 8.5 and an eyebrow raise.
I give the performances in this. They know exactly what they're doing. The tone's right. I give it a 9.
All right. Well, I think that might be everything, really. Oh, I guess practical effects, but that's pretty obvious. I Ghostbusters gets maybe a 3 and Gremlins gets a 10. So,
well, yeah, but what about those CGI little dancers that our little gremlin, our little Mogwai friend did There was a bit of green screen, I feel.
Yeah, that was a bit.
So I don't want to give it a 10. I'd give it a 9.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 as well, especially because they've taken the Gremlins concept and they've really taken it that next step. So Gizmo's a lot more animated, has a lot more expression in his face.
Yeah.
Looks a lot cuter.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more character in his face, and the range of different mogwais, and also the range of different the actual design of the Gremlins are amazing, as opposed to just putting them in different hats like in the first one.
I hated that cross-eyed one though. Just because of that laugh he had, it was terrifying.
Well, and the crazy one that that Kate brings home kind of shits me as well.
Oh God, yeah.
For Ghostbusters, though, thinking about it, actually, I think the effects might even be better than the first one for the CG. It's just that it really falls down with practical. I don't think Slimer looks very good in this, but I think the two brothers that were electrocuted look pretty good for the most part. The painting looks good, all the effects with the painting. So maybe I will bump that up to like a 5. It's okay.
It's really interesting that how influenced the second movie is from the animated series, because they did Ghostbusters, then they went straight into the real Ghostbusters, which became really, really successful with the kids. And in that, the ghosts are quite, caricature-y in some way, if that's a real word. So yeah, the electric chair ghost brothers are really quite different to any of the ghosts that they appeared in the first one. These ones are quite, you've got the big eyes, the big smile, almost like, cartoon versions of them. And that's what filters throughout. And like Slimer's a bit more like the cartoon version as well. And that works in its favor sometimes. It's also a bit of a benefit. It doesn't work as well. So, the mink. I forgot about the mink coat coming alive. That's fucking creepy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only uneasy bit that I had in the whole film.
Give it a 0.5.
0.5. Add a 0.5. There we go.
An extra 0.5 for horror. There we go.
Thank you. There we go. Minx, you get a 0.5. So yeah, practical effects. What did you give it, Sandro?
I gave it a 5 for practical /CG.
Yeah, I'll give it 6.
I feel like it's not the worst. I was impressed with the Statue of Liberty. That looked alright.
Yes,
Statue of Liberty looks good. Yeah.
I was expecting it to look worse because I hadn't seen it in a while. So I was like, yeah.
Okay, so the final points are in. This is out of 100 possible points, I think.
This is exciting. Are you excited, Zach?
Yeah, I'm excited. I have no idea which one could have possibly got more points. So.
Oh dear. Okay, so drum roll, please. For Ghostbusters 2, out of 100 points, 56.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'd probably go, somewhat down the middle. Yeah, for that one. That's pretty good.
Yeah, probably. I'm surprised it's not a little bit higher.
Yeah. If I were to rate it out of 10, probably about a 6 maybe, so.
Yeah, 6.5 for me, yeah.
I'd rate it a 7.
For Gremlins 2, though, out of 100 points, 85.
85!
Yeah, that sits about right.
Hey, that's good.
Oh, and an eyebrow raise. So there we go. The best of the 2 sequels, which we could have told you at the start of this recording. It's Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
But it was more fun to talk it out,
Yeah.
I feel. We had a good time.
Thank you so much for joining us, Rob.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on. It's a joy to talk about these two films that have and just going to talk through them again, going, what is actually good in there, and what clever moments they created, and it was good to touch on it again.
All right, that's the bonus battle.
Cut to us.
That was a nice little bonus battle right there that we did live on this episode.
Absolutely. I'm glad we got good old Rob
Oh,
Lloyd.
wow, your mic quality is suddenly so much better. What happened?
Yeah, wow, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Webcams. Why do they even have mics?
That is a good question. Another good question is Beverly Hills Cop. Good movie.
Oh, it is a good movie. So I've been told. I don't know. We haven't reviewed it yet. So it could be an oldie. We don't know, but it might be a goodie. We'll have to find out in that segment when it's coming up.
That review, it's coming up real soon.
But first, bloopers.
Boy, me in the future, put water effects here. I'm going to come to your house and
Got him.
Wait. Yeah.
Got him. Yeah, we went on a lot of tangents. I apologize for that. That was probably my fault because I'm high on medication and alcohol. So that's good.
Great mix. Good work.
Yeah,
Living your best life.
I mean, look, the dentist is an ordeal, okay? Don't judge me.
Out of either of us, which is most likely to become an Alex Jones figure? It's time for you to pick next week's episode.
I think you should pick it, seeing as it's your turn, Sandro.
Dang.
Because
Fine.
I have the list in front of me of the movies we're going to do next week. I think it would be rather hard for you to do it, even though you sent me the list.
What? No, I didn't.
So, Cloak and Dagger.
That's not how this show works.
Cloak and Dagger is a movie.
And George is like, why do you want the gun, Victor? And Victor says, I want to shoot an ugly fucker who comes around here. That's what I want the gun for.
Which is relatable.
Yeah. That's why I want a gun here in Australia.
What? No, I'm cutting that.
Wow. Wow. Wowee. Wee mama.
God damn it.
Kapowie.
That was a good bloopers segment, though. I like that one.
Yeah, that one's probably my favorite so far that I've listened to.
Yep.
Audibly.
You've listened to these blooper segments.
Yes.
Yes, you've heard
Because
them.
we listen to them live when I
Yes.
say the word bloopers. No. After you could say. No. After me. No. After you. No.
No.
After me.
After
No,
me.
After you. All right. Well, if you insist. So afterwards. No.
No, go for it.
No. After you. Okay. All right.
So,
Did I clap good?
yeah, you clapped it right.
Professional clapper?
I've heard that.
Oh, damn it. I was nervous. I was going to do it at the wrong time.
So I needed to pee really bad. Oh, and you recorded. I'm sure you'll edit that out.
No. I'm way off. Never mind. Whatever one it is.
I'm slowly loading up the page.
I mean, my memory's coming back.
I wonder what the mic quality would be like in prison.
It'd probably be like this.
Oh yes, I just took the puppies, and I was just like, yeah, there's some cute puppies. I'll grab the puppies.
Why is your voice pitched higher in prison? What's going on? What's happening to you in prison?
It's just the microphone, you see. It makes you more high pitch.
Whereas if I use my actual mic, then it's like this. You know, it's just normal.
Yeah, right.
But if I use the thing, the prison mic, it makes it all high pitched.
No, that does happen. That does happen. Yeah, the closer I move to my mic, the more higher pitched my voice gets. Yeah,
see, look, it happened.
I knew you were gonna do this.
Yes.
I was just gonna bring up the fact that we're kind of over time, and I feel like we really should get to the next segment before, just to make sure that we've got enough time to do Beverly Hills Cop. So,
Yeah.
do you want to introduce the second half of the quiz?
Well, you see, this is the best part of the quiz. Do you know why?
Why?
Because we've already heard the first part. Let's go! Hello, and welcome. Once again, it's the quiz time, where we get the hard-hitting questions that don't make any sense. We have, on our show,
Ben Volchok.
My name is Sandy Whittem.
My name is Jack Lawrence McGorlick.
My name is Robert Lloyd.
question number 1. What was the movie we watched on episode 12? Was it A, Serial Mom, B, The Mighty Ducks?
Sorry, I was too busy laughing. Can you say A again?
A, Serial Mum, B, The Mighty Ducks, C, Monkey Trouble, and D, Jimmy Hollywood.
C, Monkey Trouble.
I'll go Mighty Ducks.
I want to say the Mighty Ducks because I remember watching the TV show, the cartoon TV show as a kid where they were actually ducks.
What?
And
What?
maybe there was like space aliens involved.
That sounds wild.
And that was really formative. And I think, I planned in my head my very first fan fiction. Didn't know what fan fiction was yet. But
Well, you're very invested in your answer here, and lucky
Yeah.
for you, it's the correct answer.
oh my god, I've just got to follow my gut.
Episode 12. I mean, God, who knows? I'm
Wait,
gonna...
what are you saying? Are you trying to imply that this quiz isn't quite intellectually challenging?
I don't know. Look, okay. Look, I'm gonna guess the Mighty Ducks.
You are correct.
Hey!
Well done.
Hell yeah.
Question number 2. In 1986, the Oldie But a Goodie song was released by whom? Is it A, Eddie Mike, B, Mitchell Eddie, C, Mike Eddie, or D, Eddie Mitchell?
I have no idea. Let's go C.
Oh gosh, Eddie Mitchell.
I'm feeling D, Eddie Mitchell.
Eddie Mitchell?
Yeah, I'd date someone with that name.
D, Eddie Mitchell.
It was in fact D, Eddie Mitchell. Well done. For a bonus point, what language is the song?
English?
What language is the song by Eddie Mitchell?
Yes.
The song Oldie But a Goodie.
Titled Oldie But a Goodie, yes.
Look, I mean, all signs are pointing to English, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
Which is making me think that maybe it's not as simple. Which is making me think that maybe this is a double bluff and it actually is that simple.
That's some good thinking. That's some good trains of thoughts there.
So, look, I'm... You know what? I'm gonna go Occam's razor and just say English.
Since it's not multiple choice, I want to say English or French.
Wait, you can only pick one, though.
Well-
I'm only going to allow you one.
Okay, French, because you wouldn't ask me unless it was not in English.
I'd say English.
It was actually French.
French was my second option. Should have followed my second gut.
Question number 3. The term Oldie But a Goodie was coined by Los Angeles radio disc jockey Art Labour in what year? Was it A, 1957, B, 1962, C, 1989, or D, 1973?
B.
Let's go 1973.
I would say that it's probably not C, given that you said that the song came out in 1986. So that probably rules that one out. I'm going to say A.
I'm going to go with 89, and this is the reason. When you're in the 50s or the 60s or the 70s, you are an oldie. You can't determine the difference between an oldie and a goodie. What do you think's oldie? Probably the waltz?
You're going with C, 1989?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the correct answer was A, 1957.
Okay, but I refer to what I said before. Like, he doesn't know what he's talking about because he is in the olden days. He was probably talking about, like, opera. So I fundamentally disagree with the thesis of that.
Question number 4. At the current time of making this, Wiktionary defines the meaning of the phrase oldie but a goodie as A, something that is old but good, B, something of media that is aged but is still of high quality, C, an object or concept that is not degraded with time, or D, something that is old or a tradition but is still valued or golden, a classic.
I don't know if this is correct, but my favorite one was D, so I'm gonna go with D.
Those are all pretty plausible. I really love the first one. I want it to be the right answer, but I don't think it is. I think it's probably either B or D, and because Wikipedia is always overly wordy and overly edited and produced, I'm gonna go with D.
Oh, I'm gonna go C.
Either B or D. I'll go B.
It was actually A, something that is old but good.
Wow.
Sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one.
Exactly. Something that actually says what it is, but not actually going in any detail of what it means is the best.
Question number 5. What is Zach's favorite movie series?
Oh, God.
These come with caveats, but the first one is A, Star Wars, B, Jurassic Park, C, The Lord of the Rings, and D, Harry Potter.
What are the caveats?
Star Wars only includes the first 6. Jurassic Park includes all of them, especially Jurassic World. Lord of the Rings does not include The Hobbit, and Harry Potter does not include Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, alright. I feel like I should know this. I think for me it's somewhere between Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. This is difficult. Especially because I don't really care about any of these franchises. Look, okay, I'm gonna go... screw it, I'm just gonna go... wait, hang on. Am I gonna go Star Wars or am I gonna go Lord of the Rings? Hang on. Because, I don't want to be the type of person who, like, games this and is like, okay, well, the last...
No, please game it. Game it as much as possible.
Okay. Well, look, okay, so the last answer was A, right? So I'm going to be like, okay, maybe the next answer is not A, which makes me think it's not Star Wars.
But did you notice that the previous answer, the question before that one, was also A? We had 2 A's in a row just
Two
now.
A's in a row, so maybe it's not, maybe it's even pushing to say that it might not be 3 A's in a row. But maybe it is 3 days in a row just to
wig you out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god, who cares? Just say see Lord of the Rings.
I get the feeling that while you enjoy Harry Potter, it's not your favourite. That's the first one I'm going to cut off the list. So for me, it's between Jurassic Park. I'm pretty sure I know that you love Jurassic Park. Okay, what's my gut saying? And I'll just go with that. I'm gonna check in with my digestive system here for a second. Let's lock in Jurassic Park.
I'll go Star Wars 1 to 6.
I think it's Star Wars, but it should be Lord of the Rings. Because Lord of the Rings is objectively better.
The correct answer was C, Lord of the Rings, as my favourite series because it is objectively better.
Oh, Zach, I'm so proud of you.
Question number 6. In the episode on Gremlins, in the raving review segment, Ryan wrote this review for the movie. Blu-ray edition. Thanks, Daniel. What did he rate the film? Was it A, 2.5 out of 5, B, 5 out of 5, C, 4 out of 5, D, 0.5 out of 5, or E, 1 out of 5?
5 out of 5.
C, 4 out of 5. I feel like if he's saying thanks, Daniel, if he's rating it poorly, he's probably not going to say thanks.
Oh god, I gotta remember. I can't remember that far. I can barely remember.
That's all right. You can guess though.
Yes, I can guess. I have been if you hadn't already picked up, I've guessed every single fucking answer.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go 4 out of 5 because it's just a thanks, Daniel. If it was a 5 out of 5, he would have gone thanks greatly or thanks a lot or something like that. I'll go 4 out of 5.
Look, I'm going to go 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5, you're correct!
Yay.
It was in fact 4 out of 5!
Hell yeah.
Question number 7. I've wrote this quote in my notes. Yes, it's true, this man has no dick. What movie is this from? I'm not even going to tell you the options. Rob Lloyd, what's the answer?
That is indeed from Ghostbusters.
Wait, do I get extra points if you don't give me the options?
Ooh.
Because I know this.
Sure, go for it.
It is from the first Ghostbusters, and it is Bill Murray's character.
What movie is this from? A, Gremlins. B, Ghostbusters. C, Indiana Jones. Or D, Footloose.
It's Ghostbusters.
I know, I've seen it before, and now I don't know. I'm looking in Ghostbusters.
For a bonus point, what is happening in this scene?
Oh, in the Ghostbusters scene, I haven't seen it since I was like 6.
Is he a reporter? Is coming in and being a real jerkwad, and he's asking the Ghostbusters to prove something, and then Bill Murray says, yes, it's true, this man has no dick.
So, I know Bill Murray said it. I think they're talking to a police officer, and I think they've either, caused some destruction, and the police officer is reprimanding them, and someone is like, I can't remember the exact quote that came before it, but Bill Murray was like, yes, this man has no dick.
Well, what is happening is the scene is that the Ghostbusters have been brought to the mayor, and there's a big argument between the Ghostbusters and Walter Peck over what is happening. And Ray Stantz says the power was cut off by Dickless here, and Peck goes, they caused an explosion. And then the mayor goes, is this true? And Venkman perfectly goes, yes, it's true. This man has no dick. And then there's a big fight, and it's fucking great.
I've seen the movie once, and I think I saw it when I was 7, and that stuck in my mind because I was watching it with my sister and my sister's friend, and my sister's friend loved Ghostbusters and said, before that line came up, said, I love this line, and then it happened, and I just seared into my memory how much I agreed with her appraisal of that line.
Question 8. On December 31st, 2018, we released our first episode. What movie was also released on the same day? Was it A, Dino King, B, Aquaman, C, Mortal Engines, D, Once Upon a Deadpool, E, Holmes and Watson, F, Taylor Swift, Reputation Stadium Tour, G, Leprechaun Returns, H, Bumblebee, I, Puka, J, Lewis and the Aliens, or K, Dragon Ball Super Broly? Now, I can tell you here now, there are multiple correct answers, but you only choose one.
I can choose one. Bumblebee.
I'm gonna go with my gut because it's served me well so far. Aquaman.
Once Upon a Deadpool.
I don't know. I'm just gonna go with Aquaman.
You gotta go with Aquaman? Ooh, not quite. That came out on the 21st.
Ah,
So
damn
you
it.
were close.
I was close.
Question 9. Of the top 4 questions I've asked you, which is the wrong answer? A. 1957. B. Something that is good but old. C. Eddie Mitchell. Or D. The Mighty Ducks.
You're pulling some bullshit like it was actually 1956, not 1957 in the correct answer.
Yeah. That's some bullshit like that. Yeah.
And that's what's happening. So I'm gonna say that one then, 1957.
Which is the wrong answer. Well, the 51 was the right answer. Mighty Ducks was the right answer. I swear. Oh, Eddie Mitchell.
It's B, something that is good but old, because it's actually something that is old but good.
I will go with B, something that is good but old. Because you sneak, Zach. You switched words on me.
I would never do such a thing. What? Except I did do it here, but yes, it is in fact B. Well done. Question number 10.
Final question. Let's do this.
What is the best part of the podcast? Is it A, smelly old Sandro? B, the clearly biased quiz runner, Zach? C, the movies doing all the work? Or D, you, the guest, for being on the show?
This is a personality quiz. This is like one of those things where they're trying to figure out if I'll vote for Trump or not.
Oh, that's the whole quiz. That's been the whole quiz. We'll know exactly who you're voting for by the end of this.
I'll let my critical super ego get out of the way and let my ego have a dance. It's D. It's me, the guest.
It's obviously me, D, the guest. You thought I was gonna compliment you then? Never in a million years. Never when there's an option to talk about how great I am.
It's clearly got to be Zach. B, Zach.
D, me, the guest, specifically me, for being on the show.
Correct! It is you, Ben! You are the correct answer!
I'm totally happy to get that one wrong.
Ooh,
Very nice.
I don't even have the points in front of me, but I can already tell just from like my senses, my spidey sense, that it's close. It's a close game.
Is it because you have the points in front of you?
Yeah, I've got the points in front of me. So,
all right. Well, speaking of the points, why don't you tell us the grand final score?
All right, yeah, I'll do it quickly as well, just to make sure we got time for the review that's coming up in a bit as well.
Yeah. Don't want to delay that any longer. So we got to make sure to get on top of that right now.
Exactly.
Not delay it.
No.
Go now.
We'll go now.
Like, go through the points, probably going least to most.
I was gonna go most to least, but I guess we could go least to most as well. Just that way, like, the person in last place doesn't feel like a loser. Yeah, well, Jacob's on 3 points, and then we've got a 4-way tie for third, which is Sandy, myself, Rhys, and Rob. We're all on 5 points, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't expecting so many people to get 5 points. I thought 4 would be more of the average, but no one got 4. Everyone got those. I think it was the bonus points that really got a few people over to that.
I think you're right. From memory, I got both bonus points correct, and that really, turned me around.
That really helped you out.
In second place is Jack on 6 points, who would also be in 5 points if you didn't give him the bonus point for guessing Ghostbusters without hearing any of the options.
Honestly, that was very impressive. He knew exactly. That was a great moment.
He did. And look, to everyone who's asking, well, I could have guessed what movie that was from without hearing the options, yes. But I'm a host, and I watched the movie. This is not fair, is it?
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's not fair.
It's not.
No.
It's not. Look, I never claimed the quiz was fair. Speaking of fair, who was the winner then?
We got 2 winners. Their names rhyme.
Whoa. All right. You wrote a little poem for us then?
Nope.
Oh.
Ben and Jen. We don't have time for poems. We've got a review coming up.
Oh, right. Yeah, the review. I keep forgetting about that.
Okay. So Ben and Jen won. Good on them.
Awesome. So, what did they win?
We didn't figure that out.
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to do that.
Whoops.
I see it right here. It's written to do. come up with a reward.
Whoa.
Well, they could get like an extra vote on what we do next, or
Yeah, but we know that Ben's gonna vote for the 70s, and
the 70s were bad. So
maybe we don't give them that power.
maybe
I've still got that DVD copy of Lassie. Send that to one of them.
We could split it in half and send half and half.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do that.
Nice.
Sweet. Okay, well, I'm just going to call up Ben real quick. We won't be able to
yeah.
hear you, unfortunately, but let me just do this.
Ah, that's all right.
He might not pick up, which would make this even funnier.
Hello.
Oh, it's Ben Volchok. Hello. You can't hear Zach at the moment, but you are currently live on the show. I'm recording with Zach.
Wow.
We're just letting you know that you tied first for the quiz alongside Jen on 7 points. Good work.
That's very pleasing to hear, thanks.
Well, what are you going to do with your winnings?
Well, I'm currently eating a plate of semi-fried chicken. Yeah, I mean, and I plan to continue doing that.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ben, for congratulations.
You're very welcome.
Cool, that's Ben Volchok there. Good on him. Let me call up Jen as well.
Good on him.
Hello.
Oh, hi there. Is this Jen Speirs?
Speaking.
Oh, hi. It's me, Sandro. I'm on the line with Zach, but he can't hear you. I mean, you can't hear him because I'm wearing headphones. We're calling to let you know, hey, you won the quiz.
What? Really? I mean, I know, like, obviously, that's kind of expected, but yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for letting me know. Do you mind if I ask how much I won by?
Hey, what are you going to do with your winnings?
What am I going to do with my winnings? What are my winnings?
Great, thank you, Jen. Bye. Oh, she really wanted to know what the prize was. I feel like I feel like it's best to not tell them.
Yeah, let's glance over that and just yeah. Look, they'll love it. They'll love it. Leave it as a surprise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, we really should get to this review.
Oh, aren't we supposed to be wrapping it up?
Yep.
Really, we should have probably planned this, but we should probably get on to the review before we run out of time, because there's nothing really else to do but bloopers.
Ah, help me, Nick! He's gonna twist me neck off, pop my head off.
What? Excuse me?
He's gonna twist my neck. Help!
Oh, I thought you were saying something else.
What did you
thought you said he's gonna twist my dick off.
I said neck, because he grabs his neck.
He does grab his neck.
What are you doing, Sacher? Not his dick.
Oh, man.
Alright, what do I do for an opening for this one?
It's a good question.
Obviously, it's a Russian accent.
Oh, we could just use
that's
this as
an
the
obvious.
opening.
No.
No.
I'm gonna ruin it by tapping.
Oh, no. You've literally made it so that I can't use the audio anyhow.
I'm thinking up maybe a quiz of some sort, like a
trivia.
Multiple choice.
A multiple choice quiz. Was this review A, half a star, B, 1 star, C, 1.5 stars,
That would
D,
it would
2
make it a
stars,
bit easier.
E, 2.5 stars, F, 3 stars, G, 3.5 stars, H, 4 stars, I, 4.5 stars, or J, 5 stars.
Narration.
You're right there.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, alright. I just heard I thought you were fighting ninjas back there or something.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, I see. You have to.
It was just Tum Tum, actually. Tum Tum rocked up and I had to punch him.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. You have no idea how much I want to do that, by the way. But we'll get there.
You are a sick man. You are a sick,
I had
sick
4,
man.
and I just got to get it out of the. Oh God! But now we have no time.
That was the longest blooper segment as well. That was almost 2 minutes.
Why was that one so long? It was so much longer than the rest of them.
What are you doing?
Sandro. No, why didn't you use that one first? I didn't realize it was going to be so long. Okay. So Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
Here's a review. He's a cop.
Yep.
He goes and hunts people that are bad because he's a cop. He's like a detective, actually, more than a cop.
He does jokes every now and then he's like, Eddie Murphy jokes.
Yep.
It's good. It's good.
What was your favorite quote?
bong, bong. Oh, that's the Crazy Frog version.
Yeah, and then you just went Crazy Frog. My favorite quote was, here's your banana disguise.
That was pretty funny.
They had, yep.
Yeah, that was the guy from the Santa Claus. He was good. Hey, it cost 13 million. What do you think it made?
Oh, right, yeah, that, $2 million.
$316 million. This is one of the biggest movies of the year. We really should have probably dedicated a whole episode to it. Oh, well.
Yeah, oh, wow. This movie was great. Too bad we didn't talk about it. We gotta go.
It was a good movie, but I thought the plot was kind of boring.
It was a great movie, and I thought Sandra was wrong about the plot. All right.
Oh, well, I'm rating it a goodie.
I'm rating it also a goodie. I'm giving it the Dead Dad Award.
Whoa, sure. I can't rebut because we don't have any time.
I'm pretty sure a dad died in there somewhere. There was a lot of people who died.
A lot of people did die. They just kind of killed everyone in the game. Anyway, we don't have time. Good movie. Good times. There's 2 sequels. What's our sequel? They do more sequels. Fun times.
Mine involves war somehow.
Mine's the Joker, but not.
All right, that's it.
Cool.
See ya.
That's the episode. Thank you for listening. All the stuff we usually say, except you've already heard it, because if this is your first episode...
Why did you start with 100?
You really
That's like... This one's an extra special one. It's labeled as such. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Am I picking next week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You got to pick next week. I almost forgot the segment. Do we have enough? Okay, quick. You have City and Heat, Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds team up to fight the mob.
Pass.
Sounds kind of interesting.
Pass that. Nope.
2010, the year we made contact. It's the sequel to 2001: Space Odyssey.
Sure, pick that one. Fine. Yeah.
Cool.
Wait, it's a sequel. I'm picking. I've got to watch one of the greatest movies of all time. God damn it. Anyway, we'll do that next week. Cool. Wait, how do we end this?
Thanks for listening. Here's to another year of great listening.
Another 100 episodes
of pointless garbage.
Of Ben interviewing us.
Yeah.
And
of just as we try and find replacements. Bye.
Is that our arc next year? We just find we're just going around finding.
So instead of guests we're having interviews.